sorry, Herb, but I'm not gonna actually go talk to you. You don't make me any money, and I actually need money. Whoops. Oh, fuck. Passenger stares at me intently. Where are you going? Don't know yet. Though the real question is, how can you help yourself? It's a showdown. The weapons, 2 pairs of eyes. The goal, you have no idea. Your gaze from the backseat seems to be boring holes into your head. Out front, you clutch the steering wheel, trying not to lose face. I'm just gonna keep staring. You on one side, stiff neck, red eyes, aching muscles, jittery from not having smoked in days. And her, tense, nervous, practically foaming at the mouth, obviously burning with pent-up rage. If I were to say to you, voice slightly raspy with an oddly metallic sound, October 27th. Then I hit you. 10:46 p.m. Does that ring a bell? Yes, it does, miss. Don't you miss me, not another word! Last October 27th, you're in this very cab driving a fare and you committed a crime. That's right, sir! A crime! Spent the whole day working like an idiot for that rotten newspaper. You have any idea what I do for a living? Town crier. Very funny. Absolutely hilarious. Voice is increasingly aggressive. You can feel the anger bubbling inside her. I'm a sub-editor, Mr. the Taxi Driver. I correct mistakes that a bunch of moron journalists make. There's not a single one. Not one! Who knows how to write a proper sentence? I've had it, really had it. On the night of October 27th, you cut me off! I almost died that night. Crashed my car. My boyfriend's car, that is. Same guy made a little comment about women drivers. The neighbors called the police that night and made such a scene. I think the guy dares call himself a feminist! Pause for dramatic effect as a smile, a disturbing smile. Voice is notably choirable and was fragile, and I stay. No more boyfriend. No more car. Next up, a job interview with a major news outlet. A paper where people know how to write, where they follow the basic rules of French grammar. For just a moment, I could have stopped correcting copy for a bunch of morons. But all because of you, because your cab, everything changed that night. Sad, faraway look comes over her. My life has never been the same since. Her voice is bursting with fury and hatred. Forced to go live with my mother. They went apartment hunting with this rotten city with tiny studios cost an arm and a leg. So I started looking for you. You feel cold, clammy droplets about to drip down your spine. Started asking around. Brought one of your colleagues to give me your number. Then I found your address. Your first one, that is. That's your business. What matters is I did eventually get your other address. The real one. First, I admit, I was planning to go to your place. Voices soften a little. Just maybe to spit in your face or something like that. Then I thought to myself, no, Ludovine, maybe this guy deserves a chance, you never know. So you're going to apologize. Go on, give it your all. Take your time. Take a deep breath. Like that. So what, I interrupted her and she crashed her own car? It's not my fault. Or your cat ready to pounce. You don't know who I am, and frankly, I don't care. I just want to do my job, to mind my own business. I'm sorry, but you have to leave. Wish things had gone differently, really. I was ready to... This is what we're gonna do. She's in control, holding back, trying to contain her feelings. I'm going to get out of this cab and disappear until the night. Her eyes boring into your body inch by inch. Just between you and me. I hope you've got good insurance for this jalopy. Because one day you're gonna wake up and you won't have any tires left, or your windshield. Maybe you won't have a car at all. Let her go. Something really strong. Tried to remember that night. Nothing. Nothing but a vague impression of something behind you. The killer's silhouette. A fleeting presence. If you had seen the face of it. All at once you started the cap. That woman is a nutcase. Oh shit, I was gonna go talk to the informant, but this guy, one of my main suspects. Too drunk to drive. You pull out in front of a address our central office gave you. A crib joint. Quite popular by one of the looks of the line spilling out the doorway onto the sidewalk. Sit for a moment, the door opens and a group of 30-somethings come into view. All the men and women are dressed alike, sporty running shoes, jeans, small shoulder bags. They're officers from the Paris anti-crime squad in plain clothes. Brutish types. Ones who like to race, tackle, clobber. Ruined your afternoons you spent wandering around Paris in your teens. After a bit, one of them pulls away from the group and comes over to your taxi. Opens the door and collapses into the back seat. It's a stocky and of Asian descent. You see his muscles through his thick winter clothes. Smells like grapes and hard cider, and his face is bright red. What's up? I live near Turns? Chuckles as one of his colleagues rushes over to the taxi and pulls an imaginary gun from his coat. Points to his badge and screams at you with a big smile on his face. What a douchebag! And you drive away. Sorry, man. We're gonna have a faraway party for colleagues and celebrate Christmas, too. Don't take it the wrong way. They're not bad guys. He just laughs as he responds and quickly stops himself. I'm truly sorry. We didn't notice how late it had gotten. It's pretty tense right now. He smiles and then puts his fingers back on his temples. I drank too much. Shit. I'm a lightweight and they know it. I think they were trying to loosen my tongue. Behavior changes abruptly like he's just seen a ghost. One question. Yes. Do taxi drivers have some sort of policy or ethics code? Not sure I understand. Like priests or doctors. If I tell you something, can you keep it to yourself? Been lying to my colleagues for a few years. I joined the squad 8 years ago. They all think I'm in a relationship with a woman who lives in Strasbourg. Now we're gonna get married. Makes a strange yelping noise like an air bubble bursting on the surface of a river. As soon as they got too close to Strasbourg, it makes stories. We've almost broken up 10 times. I convinced them we're trying to have a kid, but it hasn't worked yet. Fuck. Saying that out loud is just the word. His eyes are getting shiny. I'm gay. I'm getting married in a few months to my boyfriend. Another breath longer, deeper. No one at work knows. Not his soul. The next sentence comes out in a rush. He holds his breath all the time. I like men. I've always liked men. But I work in a police station, listen to their comments, their jokes all day long, and we catch a guy who's never done time before, we tell him briefly what he should expect. We talk about the violence, about the... Finally, he breathes in again. I say we because I'm in on it. Because I can say fag any time of the day without a prompting. The word rolls off my tongue completely naturally. He finally looks you in the eye. They're not mean. They're cops. Not mean, just doing the job. He flashes a tiny crooked smile. You know what I'd really like? I'd like to have them over for dinner. Everybody on the squad. They can see my place. They play a board game. Something normal, you know. They could meet James. I still don't believe it. It's crazy. Crazy. He smiles at last. A genuine smile. Can you believe it? We're getting married in 2 weeks. After living together for 9 years. For 9 years he's been willing to live in a lie. He understands. It's wild, but yes. He knows I love my job and couldn't possibly do anything else. He loves me enough to let me keep lying. Slowly shakes his head. But I can't go on like this. I have to. Shit. My head is spinning. I don't feel so good. Why am I telling you all this? Why? Grabs on the seat in front of him. Hey, can you pull over? You stop immediately. He opens the door and leans the top half of his body out. He vomits. You open your window to air out the greasy smell of fried crepes and the sour scent of cider. A moment later, the cop sits back up. Okay. Oh, sir. Got it all out. Start driving again. I'm sorry. Really. Breathe. Yeah, you're right. You nod while your passenger moans and quietly says, I'm sorry. Don't worry. I haven't barfed like that since last Easter. It made me drink the South African liquor or something with cream and cocoa. Nasty. Still picture it. I was doing shots and they shouted my name. Karate Kid, Karate Kid. It was a rough night. You just closed the case. You glaze in the rearview mirror. You okay? Everything's spinning again. Can you repeat of last time? He opens the door, leans his head out, his torso, his arms. The sound makes your stomach churn, so you stare straight ahead. Can I ask you a question? More puke on the sidewalk, a little inside the vehicle. Go ahead. Fine. Shoot. He sits up, prompts you to drive. So, here goes. What should I do? Should I keep on keeping on? Should I confess? Should I invite them to my wedding and surprise them? It's a long one. Be straight with me. What would you do if you were me? If you were in my shoes? I think you're being hard on yourself. You're hurting yourself rather than trying to solve the problem. You're not going to change your sexual orientation or leave your husband. So there aren't a ton of alternatives. You have to tell them. He looks at you in the mirror. Can you take me somewhere else, if you don't mind? I don't mind. My colleagues are at a bar. I'll go see them. Tell them everything. If I don't do it now, then I'll never do it. A smile of relief spreads across his face. It's not just the alcohol talking. Yes. But I think it's about the 10th time I've gotten this wasted this month. You're right. I'm hurting myself. Gives you the new address. I need to tell them now. I feel terrible, but I think I'll feel better if I speak to them directly. His headache is apparently back and he's knocked himself out a bit. You're used to having drunk people in your cab, actually. The majority of your Saturday night passengers are drunk. I don't know how to tell them all about this. You can tell he's beginning to panic. I don't think I'm ready. The passenger stares hard at you. You can tell your silence is giving him doubts. I want to go home. He sighs. It's not a good idea to talk to them. My blood alcohol level is so high. Thank you. His whole remainder of the light is low. He's having trouble sitting still. Once or twice, you sense he's about to break and change his mind. Then, nothing. He appears to calm down and remains completely still, lost in his own head. You keep an eye on the road. You've almost reached your destination. Your passenger's almost asleep in the backseat. You park in front of a small townhouse. There's a light on upstairs. He's still up. I'm going to talk to James. I don't remember everything I said, but thanks. He chuckles. I hope this taxi ride wasn't just in my imagination. He pays and gets out. You listen to his clumsy footsteps in the cobblestones. He climbs the few steps to the door. Before he has time to find his key, the door opens. Warm, soft light floods the streets. You drive away. Haven't I ferried her before? I think I have. I need to get more information now. If anything, I need more information. So I cannot afford. Few calls for me. Yes, I've heard that before. Before I get interrupted again. You leave your taxi behind and walk towards the last victim's building. Charles Ferrer was killed in his parking garage. A large metal garage door is firmly closed. On your left, there's a shady corner where you can discreetly keep an eye on the door without being seen. You grin and bear it. From time to time, you jump in place to warm yourself up. Your hiding place is probably the same one the killer used a few weeks ago. With each passing minute, you sense his presence until the garage door starts to shake. The metal slats start to rise. A car suddenly bursts out of the garage. You take the opportunity to slip inside. Your eyes take a few seconds to adjust to the darkness. You head down the ramp into the garage. There are about 30 spots and almost all of them are full. The cars are very nice. Sedans, convertibles, a bright red sports car. You're in a wealthy neighborhood. According to the police reports, Charles Ferrer was murdered right here in this empty parking spot. He used to be a notorious leader of the right-wing extremist party. When he was murdered at age 84, long after retiring from politics, it was a surprise for everyone. You light up the crime scene with a flashlight on your phone. There's still a brown stain on the wall in front of you. A message written in chalk has been washed off. A voice rings out in the garage. Hey! What are you doing? This is private property! You turn around and see a rather elderly man, probably the concierge. He shines his flashlight in your direction. I'm a journalist. Doing a story on the judge and his victims, including Mr. Ferrer. He hesitates. I'm sorry, but I'm not at liberty to tell you anything. I just need 2 minutes of your time. He nods nervously or maybe in fright. You have trouble making his face, but you see his eyes bug out. Go! Get out of here before I call the cops. You walk back up the ramp towards the exit. The concierge opens the garage door. As you step out, you hear the concierge say, if I see you lurking around again, I'm calling the cops. Fuck. He's gone. Short of breath. I didn't get anything out of that. Fuck. Didn't get anything out of that. Oh my god, that's a long fare. Sure. Says the floor and gives you an address in nearby suburbs. The ringtone was a familiar one. Yes. The tone is sharp and curt. I'm on my way home right now. Pauses and hold your breath. Yes. Sounds annoyed. No, I took a taxi. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on. Lay off. New round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? Yeah, we'll talk about it when I get back. Ready to hang up, and then she pulls it back. Yes, I'm here. Final glances at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you. We'll talk about it when I get home. She rolls her eyes. Oh, come on. My life is not ruined. I mean, I failed one exam. Don't worry, there'll be others. Their voice raised another notch. I'm gonna have to let you go! Oh, stop! stop freaking out! Or would a taxi be any more dangerous than a night bus, Mom? You out of your mind? It's impossible to talk to you these days. I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up. She pulls her phone away from her face like she's afraid of it. You hear her ring, same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over under her hand, decides not to answer. Sorry. I know that tune. Lakme by Leo Delibes. We gave a performance with this music. After hearing it so much, I just totally fell in love with it. Such an incredibly soft piece. In the opera, it comes from the priestess Lakme and one of her companions go to gather jasmine for the temple, and you sense the love between the characters, and it's mutual. Two women sing, and their words are very similar, but not identical. The tune rings a bell. I think they use it in a lot of ads for cars or tampons or something. Oh, thanks for earlier, by the way. I'm Liz, the last maestro, and to be honest, I didn't really want to go home. My mother is waiting to have a long, very long discussion about my future, my career, all the sacrifices she's made for me. She's a cleaning woman in one of the fancy office buildings near La Défense, and I failed my bar exam, so she thinks she was going to make a joke, but something very keeps her from doing so. Her smile vanishes. She thinks I'll end up as a cleaning woman at La Défense. She thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's like May's fault. Mostly she thinks it's my fault. She heaves a huge sigh and stares at nothing. I studied. I worked hard. But I didn't pass. I just don't believe in all that anymore. Now, be warned, what I'm about to say will sound cliche, but I want to be a dancer, not a lawyer. My mother doesn't understand. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. She takes a breath. Sorry. I didn't mean to unload on you. I must seem like a pretentious little princess. Not at all. Thanks. Thanks for lying. You don't. I mean, I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered, blah, 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 and I have to pass this fucking exam. Mind you, she came to my Lakme performance. She saw me dancing when we left. It's kind of dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. She takes her time getting out of the car. I don't know why I said all of that, but it felt really good. Thank you. She disappears. Her tears have definitely vanished. Who to now? Let's go to the gas station, click in with a clue. Fill up the car. Looks like a postcard, and you've always found it charming. Click behind the counter, ordinary, yep. Serial bearer Kuma's baiting, pointing anger, referring to the newspaper on the display in front of him. Have you seen how much the police suck at catching him? You smile, let him keep talking. That'll do. Ah, shame. Losing ticket, no luck. Not a word from the guy behind the counter. Curse automatically as you put one foot out the freezing cold. Fill up. Leave the station. I can't afford to talk to her. He doesn't actually give me any money, as much as I want to do him a favor. Listen to the radio. Find something to listen to. The news, of course. In a vox pop by the judge, a bystander brings up the fact that the police still have not arrested the homeless man seen near the crime scene. You didn't know that. Oh. Oh. That's not good. Is this gonna be any different from the last time? Taxi drivers. Tiny article, protests in the small South American country of French Guam, paralyzing the territory for 2 months. Yeah. Where are you going? You need to speak with me. Door slams, followed by a freezing cold burst of air. You stare at your passenger for a moment in the rearview mirror. She's wearing a rather unusual getup. You smile. Good evening. She nods before giving the taxi a detailed once-over with a blank look on her face. But after a very long minute, she crosses and uncrosses her fingers. You usually like weird passengers, strange ones, but this one, there's something different about it. Don't like. Clears her throat loudly. I came too early. He'll be here soon. Russian, maybe, accent. What are you talking about? Him. She slowly smiles, revealing a line of dirty teeth stained with cigarette smoke and worn down from booze. Ludwig. The name may not ring a bell now, but soon. She stops. A moment of silence. You're quite surprising. Unusual, actually. I am a ghost hunter, sir. That Ludwig! She enunciated each word as it rolls off her tongue. Some creatures from the netherworld live among us, encrusting themselves onto our lives like barnacles. Their tongues sound so rough, like oysters. Ghosts are parasites, dead weight bearing down on their shoulders and back. I'm not going to beat around the bush, sir. You'll need to keep 2 essential things in mind. Ludwig is evil incarnate. He is a tour guide from the underworld trying to sell you your own death. His cold fingers gripping on the edge of your window. I can't feel it. I know it. They'll soon be here holding on just like this. Like she's going into a trance. You have 2 essential things to keep in mind, and that was the first. The second is even more important. Do not make him angry. Listen to him. Help him. Make friends with him. If I talk to this ghost, what will happen? He will take you with him to the underworld for all eternity. Her fingers adjust around her collar. She starts to get out. It's easy to think that Ludwig is a child. He is no child. He is a creature that has lived for centuries. A demon. Dangerous. Violent. Don't forget. Make friends. No matter what. Steps resonate on the cobblestone as she turns down a narrow street. They come to a halt. Until a damp feeling creeps up on your back. Sweat. Fear. Running. In your vein. The air of Peru. Paris is refreshing. Perks you up. The ghosts really exist. Isn't all that just... No. You turn the key on the ignition and get back to your shift. Well, that was strange. This guy. Volte de Vercelli. His eyes are hidden behind a large pair of dark glasses. His clothes reek of sweat and booze. Clever. He mumbles his destination and you start driving. A few words are exchanged. Weather, taxes, traffic. Then, you can tell it's coming the inevitable conversation about the killer. Okay, we've heard this before. Then I imagine this is the actual part of it. Store windows, sodium light, it's dripping into your brain. You need music to keep you awake. You glance at your passenger. Mind if I put a little music on? Who cares? Turn the radio on, pressing on the dial to find a station you like. 80s rock ballad, too soft. Passengers snoring, barely, but you can hear them. The tone of classical music sounds like the orchestra is badly tuned. Right, not right. A mathematician being interviewed about a medal he just received. His voice sounds familiar. And that interrupts the torrent of words as you change the station. No classical music. Electronic, but not the mood. Stop! You lift your hand from the dial and music plays on. Not bad. Turn it up so I can hear better. Didn't want to wake you. Voice sounds like it's coming from a deep cabin. Wasn't sleeping, just sobering up. He leans forward. Not bad at all. You hear the touch of an accent. Probably American, but someone who's lived for most of his life in France. Leave it on until they say the musician's name. The music continues. There's something turning in the background. Persistent melody that gets higher and higher. Client mumbles, I bet. The song's coming to an end. The announcer in a piercing foghorn voice throws out the name of a DJ you've never heard of. DJ Blunt. I knew it. Continues to mumble, but this time you can tell he's more or less talking to you. Still, it's crazy. Tell the dude everything he knows, everything. In '94 at a party at the Rex Club, this kid who started buying me rounds. A kid no older than 17 thought he was hitting on me. He chuckles. Would have been disappointed. No, wanted me to teach him how to spin. Told him no, but you can walk. That's exactly what he did every week until we moved to the Osiris. Sold eggs to pay his way in. And now he's on the radio. A weighted silence fills the cab. Until your passenger's mind is spinning. You know what he did this summer? It was the opener for the soccer championship at Stade de France. It's huge. I wonder what people would think if they knew he was selling drugs at 17. If only they knew. Passenger climbs up. You notice a woman crossing the street at the crosswalk. She speeds up as soon as she walks. She walks by two men talking loudly. We ran into each other in Ibiza 4 or 5 years ago. I was spinning at this little club. Yeah, really little, but it was something. He totally ignored me, of course. With those dark glasses, you can see how angry he is. DJ motherfucking... He rummages through his pockets as he says, "Your radio. Can you take a flash drive?" You don't really know what he's talking about. No, only CDs. No worries. He lays his phone in the space between the front seats. Listen to this. It's what I played tonight. It's mine. He set his phone to play. But, you know, people were barely dancing. They were talking each other's picture. 4 notes start to dead. They barely touch, nor kiss anymore. A perfect dance beat becomes progressively audible. All that. A purely electronic crescendo plays. It's over. The break in the music. Synthesized strings calm the song down without slowing. At least, the song is getting intense again. Explodes as your passenger drifts off. I got people dancing. You drive to the rhythm of his snoring. Sounds fill the cab. Ideas are bouncing through your heads like they do every time you find yourself alone. This guy in the backseat is told to be young. You look at your own hands. They look like they're suddenly aging in time-lapse. You close your eyes for a second. Only a second. When you open them, you've reached your destination and have pulled over on the sidewalk. Your passenger awoken by you tapping. Shit. Huh? We're here, sir. Huh? Yeah, great. Remember to slip pocket and hands you a few rumpled bills for fare. Thanks. I hope you liked it. The music, my music, the song I played for you. I should have been in the spotlight, you see. 15 minutes of fame. Just a minute of... You hear him mumble as he leaves the taxi. Those Swifties or just really screw with my system. Takes him several tries to get the door open. He finally disappears inside. Okay, come on. Boom. Fucking load over in. Barely made any money. Fuck. I think this is my last day, though. Update the board. Crack your uncle, let's get to work. Homeless man seen at crime scene 2 and 3. Fuck. That's even more information. That it could be Herv. Fuck. Stolen wallet. Victim 4 was responsible for the scandal. This is seeming less and less like this guy. I don't... It's not her. It can't be her. Why is that one? Oh no. All I've got. You're completely lost. You suddenly fall asleep. Your breath becomes slow and steady until you understand you are no longer breathing. You open your eyes and look at your chest. Something is cut out of a square of skin and flesh in order to pull out your lungs. You sit up on your bed and breathe. A nightmare. It was just a nightmare. You open one eye. Slept badly. Sometimes you're so tired you can't seem to get any rest. I'd like to understand that's even possible. A few months later, outside your studio.